Welcome back. Good Monday morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, and I hope you're having a good Monday morning. It is Monday, October 20th. It is 8:01 on the East Coast. Coming up this hour, in 10 minutes' time, we are talking with Senator Bill Hagerty from Tennessee. At 8:20, don't miss the Bear Traps Report founder Larry McDonald on markets and these worries and anxiety over the private credit risks in the markets. Plus, at 8:30, join us for New York City mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa. He will be here. First, though, the hot topic of the hour. The Trump administration is touting more than $17 trillion in new investments into America since President Trump entered the Oval Office 9 months ago. I spoke with the president about it in my exclusive interview. Plus, what happens when the Supreme Court takes up his case on tariffs on November 5th? Watch. Mr. President, you came into office with a real vision. You wanted supply chains in America.
Yeah.
On the rare earth minerals thing, I know that there are rare earth minerals, but it's the refining of the minerals that China has a lock on. How did we get here? I mean, for 10 years, you've been attacked by your enemies, political enemies, the Democrats, who've tried to take you down for 10 years, Russia, 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 and yet all this time,
isn't it amazing?
China has been eating our lunch.
Yeah.
Now, 90% of the pharmaceuticals that we need, underlying components, are made in China.
It's all coming back.
So how did we get here?
You know it's all coming back.
Well, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take to get the supply chain?
The pharmaceuticals are coming back already. Again, tariffs. So essentially, I'm putting tariffs on pharmaceuticals unless they're made here. They're all coming back. Chips. I put big tariffs on chips unless they're made here. There's no tariff if they make them here. And all those companies are coming back from Taiwan. They're coming back from all over the world. And they're coming back fast. You know better than anybody else. $17 trillion. It could be $20 trillion by the end of the first year. We're going to do over $17 trillion in 8 months. By the time we end, we could do over $20 trillion. There's never, in China, no matter where you go, there's never been anything like it. We are building up something that's unbelievable. And a big part of that are the tariffs, because they don't want to have to pay the tariffs because it's so unsustainable that they come and build the pharmaceuticals and the chips and all of the things. They're coming into the United States and they're building them. It's a miracle what's happening. We are building the greatest country in the world, economically, greater than we've ever been before. But we do have a big decision, and that decision is coming up in the Supreme Court. And again, this is being fought by radical left lunatics that don't even know what they're doing, and people that represent foreign countries that have taken advantage of us for years. You know, tariffs have been used against the United States for years. And it would always bother me so much. I'd look and I'd say, how can they allow this to happen to our country? We lost 55% of our automobile business because of the fact we didn't use tariffs. Had we used tariffs, we wouldn't have lost anything.
What is your backup plan should the Supreme Court decision go against you on the tariffs and the emergency
Well, I'll have to figure something out. I don't want to even think about it. We're doing so well to think about it. You know, if that happened, we'd have to pay back money. So if anything would happen with that, that would mean they're allowed to use tariffs and we're not. If they took away, this is national security, if they took away tariffs, then they've taken away our national security. This is a major decision that the Supreme Court will be making, Liz. The hearing is November 5th. This will be a market mover. The president just said it. The U.S. will have to pay money back. I do believe he's got serious backup plans in place when you look at the different sections that he could go to. Like, for example, he already did the 25% tariff on imported trucks, including big pickup trucks and long haul. He's got Section 232 truck tariffs were released on Friday. So he's positioning perhaps for backup plans right now. But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think there are other avenues they've explored and actually are already using, Maria. So I don't know whether those could be used in all the tariffs that he's put on various countries and products. But, you know, it is remarkable to me that people are basically ignoring all these billions and, he says, trillions of dollars coming into the United States. And by the way, last week, we saw Stellantis make a major investment move into the United States and increasing production of various products that they had been making in Mexico or elsewhere. Jamie Dimon came out last week, something that got almost no attention, and saying they were going to put money behind basically the America First agenda. I actually am very bullish about all this investment coming into our country, and certainly some of it is in response to the tariffs, Maria. It's also in response to low energy costs, lighter regulation from the Trump administration, and low taxes. Where else in the world do you have that combination offered to manufacturers? The answer is no place. So I actually think this is very bullish. And yes, I think the Supreme Court could throw a real loop into the markets here if they deny these tariffs. I think he'll figure out something else.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, you're referring to the J.P. Morgan $1.5 trillion Security and Resilience Initiative to boost critical industries. They're going to invest in 4 industries, including, like you said, all of the national security-related industries that the president is talking about: pharmaceuticals, rare earth, energy, et cetera, et cetera. Look, the president also told me about the projects approved to boost American production here at home and how the U.S. is investing in those. Watch.
Well, you've also been monetizing the balance sheet, and you took a 10% stake in Intel.
That's right.
You're taking a stake in Mountain Pass, MP. I mean,
Do you know that Intel, I think we're up $40 billion since I made the deal. We made a big deal. And I didn't do it for myself. I did it. They came in to see me, and I said, you know what? I think the United States should own 10% of your company. And they gave me 10%. And you know what? It's been good for them, too. Their stock has gone up so much that they end up making a fortune. But we made $30 or $40 billion on that deal. The same thing with Mountain Pass. But in that case, it's because we want to get the rare earth refined.
Yeah, I mean, it was a national security emergency. Or are you looking to take stakes in other companies for other reasons?
Well, I'll give you an example. In Alaska, they have a road that we just approved, right? That was a big deal. They've been trying to get it done for, like forever. They can never get it done. And it's a very simple deal. So here comes the road. You're getting minerals, I know, but we're opening up this part of the world that you were unable to even get to except by a helicopter. We're building a massive road. They're building it. We're making it possible to build. I said, so if we're making it possible to build, we should get a percentage of the things that are taken out. And my people looked at me and said, gee, I never thought of that. We're building a massive, hundreds of miles long, a gravel road into this incredible place of rare earth. And I said, we should own a part of that company. And then I do that, and people criticize me. That's not the American way. It is actually the American way.
It's interesting what the president has been doing to monetize this balance sheet, Michael. Your reaction. And by the way, he said that he's expecting by the end of this year, it could be $20 trillion of new investment into America, Michael.
Yeah, Maria, this often goes unreported how much capital investment is coming into our country. We had a 3.8% GDP last quarter. Atlanta Fed GDP now is tracking at 3.9% this quarter. And it's a whole of government policy to spur on the reindustrialization of our country. So a lot of this foreign investment is coming in to develop data centers for artificial intelligence, which is going to make our manufacturing smarter. You have Lee Zeldin at the EPA reducing environmental regulations, and then you also have tariffs making it much more advantageous for companies that want to do business here to operate here. So when you take this all of government approach, you start taking government stakes in critical infrastructure, all of a sudden you put this together and you're going to get a manufacturing renaissance here, which will lead to a higher productivity, highest multiplier jobs, highest multiplier industries for years to come.
Which is all the president's vision right there.